Hello, and welcome to Stories from the View, a podcast from the Pleasant View Senior Center in East Longmeadow, Massachusetts. On this podcast, we invite people from East Longmeadow to tell us stories about their lives and events. And today's guests are Jesse and John Sullivan from East Village Tavern. This should be an interesting discussion. And your host this week is Mary Genoan Kaplan.
Thank you, Eric. Good morning, Jess and Sully. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Very well, thank you. You folks have really made an impact in East Longmeadow in your time here with East Village Tavern that, we regulars call EVT. So tell us, how did you get started in the hospitality business?
We met at Limelight, the old Celtic pub. I was freshly 2021. Sully was bartending, so we went in for a birthday celebration. From there, he asked if I wanted a job. Was in college, never bartended before. I said, sure, why not? That's where it started. From Limelight, he was also working down at McCaffrey's downtown. So I moved along there with him. Started dating, bartending, working together. I don't know what year Nathan Bill's.
2013.
2013. It was Two Eagles at the time. We had gone in, kind of scoped it out a little bit, seeing, what we could do with it. Opened up Nathan Bill's 2013.
So you went from bartending to ownership, entrepreneurs.
Yep. And then the banquet hall was opened, and that's my baby. So I started managing the banquet hall. We were there. We just had our 10-year reunion. So, and then East Village
Tavern, we've had eyes on it for a while now. Bentley's opened around the same time as Nathan Bill's in 2013. And I grew up with one of the former owners of Bentley's and Craft 32's son. And I frequented the establishment quite often, and I knew a lot about it behind the scenes, and I'm from staff to operations, everything through the former owners. And I always had a love for East Longmeadow and the town, and dreamed of operating in it. And then after COVID, it kind of changed everything with businesses and just everybody. And that's kind of where they made the decision to rebrand, turn it into Craft 32. Kind of a fresh start. After COVID, and they did very well for a while. And the effects of COVID long term, and not a lot of businesses could survive, and they survived. But we had kind of a bigger idea and fresh start, and came in there with the help of the former owners who guided us and helped us out from the start, even still right now. And the rest is history. We worked very hard and thrilled to be in town.
You folks are way too modest. You are running two very successful businesses that I can say from experience are very full. There are always customers and people, lunch, early afternoon beverages, and but I think what distinguishes you in my mind is not only the banquets, but the charitable work you do and the collaborations you have with other people. How did that happen? Because running a restaurant and a bar is busy, and yet somehow you carved out some time to do all this other stuff. Tell us what.
I feel like a lot of it too is, we started in the industry. I don't want to say the bottom of it, but we worked every single job, position there could be inside of it. So we treat, the staff how we would want to be treated if,
Yeah.
and people, obviously we have a large following from it. So people approach and say, hey, can you help us out? We've had, Celebrate Kate. We've had multiple runs, that have been annual. And, with obviously me personally, we do Jesse's fight. So that was, a big turnout too. We have Griffin's Friends. They run out through Sunday.
People might not know about Jesse's fight. You're comfortable telling us a little bit about that?
Yeah. 2017. I was 27. Work in the hall. My daughters were 1 and 2 at the time. I ended up having a seizure in my sleep. Went down to Bay State. They did some scans. Found a mass. They said, they're gonna have to operate immediately. So obviously that was a shock. He was with me. My mom was with me. They removed everything. It was a stage 3 cancerous tumor. It's
In your brain?
in my brain. Yeah, it's anaplastic oleodendroglioma. It took me a while to pronounce it. Yes. I had chemo and radiation. That very first year, because it happened Mother's Day weekend, so it was.
And her birthday weekend.
Yeah, it was a lot. That August, we ended up. I don't like to be the center of attention at all, and everybody was like, "What can we do? How can we help?" I said, let's do a run. Let's raise money for the D'Amour Center. For people affected the same way I was affected. They saved my life, Bay State, and we had a huge turnout. It blew my mind. Like the community, friends, family, everybody showed up, and it was overwhelming. And it made me feel good that I could help others, and at the same time, like people wanted to be involved. They wanted to tell their stories to me, which I thought was cool. And ever since then, obviously COVID affected that a lot. So we started doing a golf tournament. So every year we've had a golf tournament, which obviously is outside. So with COVID, it was a lot easier to do that. But obviously with everything else going on, we've kind of geared more towards the golf tournament and haven't done the run in a few years. But we're hoping to get back into that too. But it's been crazy. Oh, yeah.
Astonishing. Now, most recently, you've been involved with a cause that's really been in the headlines with a police officer. So tell us about your engagements with that and how it's going.
Yeah. Officer Santos, we've known him prior, from having worked details at the Nathan Bill's and the establishment, such as St. Patrick's Day, night before Thanksgiving Eve. A lot of the holidays and bigger events, we hire details for safety and security. And, he's this, awesome guy. And he was driving to work, and it's crazy, to think about, that can happen to just anybody, not just an off-duty police officer, but, a civilian. It could have happened to anybody.
Yeah,
but,
really wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
He has a very dangerous profession, but this was as a civilian.
He was driving into work and, kind of jumped into action to come in and assist. And unfortunately, it's permanent vision loss from it. So, us in the community being business owners and huge supporters of law enforcement, we just thought it was, the right thing to do. And actually, it was John Delaney, a former police sergeant with Springfield. It was actually a Ride to Remember fundraiser where he contacted me, and he's like, it was this, tragic when it happened, and it was so close to the anniversary of Kevin Ambrose, and it was all around the same time as all coming together. And he called me and he said, "What's your thoughts of directing the funds to Officer Santos and his family that are in dire need of it, especially with family being in Boston, traveling, hotels, it's a lot." So, being business owners in the community and our role, obviously said yes. And we're excited to support him and his family. We know from being on the other end how appreciative it is and how much it helps. So we were honored to do that and successfully, and continue to, help Officer Santos and his family.
I am absolutely struck with the fact that you say, well, business owners, of course we help. That's part of your business mission, and it might not be the part of others' mission. I would be remiss if in our conversation today I didn't mention the Rotary to say that my husband, who's a Rotarian, will never forgive me, and I have to go back home and live with him. So if you would please talk a little bit about your most recent support of the Rotary, and I think it was the Bandshell project
Yeah.
that East Village Tavern stepped up and did a little work for.
One of my favorite things about being here in East Long Meadow, kind of the first thing we jumped into from the start of operating and being business owners at East Long Meadow was to join the Rotary Club, and that's kind of one of the my favorite and coolest things about East Long Meadow and East Village Tavern is the businesses association with this club. There's a lot of great people and Rotarians that work very hard, closely in the community, to support others. And I mean, it's kind of what was instilled in us at a young age with, my Catholic background and beliefs, and growing up from Holy Cross School to Cathedral High School and being an altar boy, and just being, taught to give back. And that's kind of how we've, established ourselves in the community, with the businesses and everything too. And the East Long Meadow Rotary Club is everywhere and anywhere. And the Rotarians, come from everywhere and anywhere. From a lot being business owners or managers or, just residents at East Long Meadow. And I really enjoy working with them and just doing so much. But we've done a lot, from the Thanksgiving food drive to the celebrity bartender and fundraiser, where that goes towards support of either the East Long Meadow Fireworks Fund or the Bandshell recently, which they're in need of, and the East Long Meadow Summer Concert Series is really something that residents look forward to all year long, and kind of summer tradition with friends and family, and bringing a lawn chair and coming to see live music at the high school. But not only that, the Bandshell is used for, not just the summer concert series, other events and everything within town. And we're just excited and glad to help out with that project too.
Absolutely, and I will say the concert this past Wednesday, where the heat was
It's been brutal.
hell-like,
Yes.
someone was smiling down, because sitting on that field in your lawn chair, there was a great breeze.
Yeah.
And you can't help but think, this isn't a bad way to live.
Yeah.
This is kind of cool. Absolutely.
And the band was awesome too. Project 267 are great.
Yeah.
It was, it's just a great time.
Yeah.
So let's switch gears a little bit. You talked about special events, and that's another thing I think that's a little different about East Village Tavern, in my estimation, that you really know how to celebrate a holiday. I think I'm kind of a theme person, and you just leave me in the dust. So tell us, we'll do St. Patrick's Day just because it's so darn cool. Tell us what you do with that.
Well, it's a lot of behind the scene work.
A lot of behind the scenes.
It's just so much small details in planning, and my partners and our staff are the reason why it's so successful. From security to inventory, to planning, to scheduling events, musicians, every little detail doesn't get unnoticed. And we work very hard months in advance to make an operation as large as, that we do it, in Springfield at Nathan Bill's, and, in East Long Meadow too, where, it's a restaurant and, not a bar, is, so it's a lot of work, a lot of work. And it's not just, one day with St. Patrick's Day, it's all week, or, 3 days with the road race, and then, the parade.
And the beer tent
Yeah.
for the carnival.
The beer
Oh
tent
my.
as well too.
That's a huge so you operate 2 restaurants, but what the heck? Let's do a beer tent for
little-
4th of July. Why not?
The secret of the beer tent for the
there's a
4th of
secret.
July
Yes.
is basically our St. Patrick's Day formula. And it's a lot from, crowd safety to security to control, to also the sale of alcohol, with our staff being tip certified and all experienced. And we are highly experienced in it. And I think that's the reason why these large events with thousands of people go off with, I mean, knock on wood, no problems.
We're at the
Nothing.
mercy of the weather with the beer tents.
That's my biggest problem is, and she'll tell you too,
You
is
never know.
looking at the weather
Constantly.
within, the hourly forecast, 3 days up to events, to reaching out to Dan Brown and all the local, meteorologists and everything too, to try to find some sort of secret, what's it gonna do the day of or the
You
day
saved
before.
it with, we had a last minute cancellation with one of the bands and,
Yeah.
yep.
One of the bands, it was actually the band that just played this past Wednesday at the summer concert series. And there's just so many. The band Project 267, East Long Meadow residents, they have a lot of friends and family that look forward to these dates to play in. And the last thing we want to do is, cancel an event. So it was actually the Sunday of the beer tent where the weather was lightning, and we
Yeah.
made the decision right away. We cannot operate and put, I mean, not only customers but staff in a pole frame tent with lightning storms or anything too. So made decision early because there's a lot of setup and planning and anything to transfer the band over to home base at East Village Tavern, and it went awesome. It went well. Everybody was very excited, like I said, because they got a big following, and a lot of friends, family look forward to these dates with these musicians to see them perform. And they're awesome. I mean, they're local, and they do a great job, and it's great because, I mean, you look over and you see a table full of 6-7-year-old family on top of someone that's 75, 80 years old, all jamming and it's just that's
a
the
good time.
most rewarding thing for us, is to see the pieces of the puzzle come together successfully and everybody having fun.
The East Village Tavern is not a huge place, but you make it work.
Yeah.
With the music. And am I correct, for St. Patrick's Day, others come through? You have great connections with people. So just, can you give us some examples? We understand the planning, but I like the glitz.
Yeah.
So, have I heard bagpipes there?
Oh yeah, we
Mummers
got
and,
the
I
mummers
mean,
come all the way
The mummers come.
straight from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and it's just a tradition since I first learned and started bartending when I was about 18, 19 years old, from the Irish bars from Hungry Hill, East Springfield, downtown Springfield to Nathan Bill's, and it was something really we wanted to introduce with the Irish culture, the East Long Meadow, and the fun with celebrating our heritage here in town. And a lot of people were excited for that, to bring their families, for the parade marching band, with kids. I mean, just to bring them right to their backyard.
Who gets to see a mummer there
Yeah.
up close and personal?
And
I'm
they-
used to seeing them from
They're
the
so
curb
theatrical.
waving.
Yeah, they
People.
come in two Peter Pan buses, and I mean they're in full outfit, and they put on a great show of the LED neon hats and their instruments, and they have a great time.
Too much fun. Absolutely too much fun. So, in addition to all of this work, I am astonished that you still do personal life stuff and have
Yeah.
an adorable family with two beautiful girls. I hear you did a little soccer coaching,
Yeah.
which is fun, and another way to be involved in the community on a whole different level. But it's a lot. It's still a lot. Was it fun to do the soccer thing?
Yeah, it was pretty cool to meet these young kids and to watch them progressively get better throughout the season with the coaching, with the skills that that I can remember when I was a kid being taught. And then I played a little high school soccer too, and it was quite rewarding at the end of the season to see them really develop with their skills and be successful. And it was great. I look forward to doing it again this year.
Yeah, what age group did you work with?
I had third, fourth grade, so
Awesome.
8, 9 years old.
Awesome. Yeah.
So you were really in a teaching mode too.
Yeah, yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah, they have fun.
Oh, they had a blast. And we played at Lennox Field down the street, and they have the older kids play there with probably, I'm guessing, a 10, 12-year-old age group. So like a lot of the practices and a lot of our games, I would bring the team over to watch the older kids to kind of show and teach them so they had a better understanding the concept of the game.
And how wonderful to sort of give them the vision of, you can do this too.
Yeah,
Things,
exactly. It's something them to look forward to. So that when they get older, same level.
Astonishing. So, inquiring minds want to know, what's next for
No more.
the Sullivan family? Okay, Jess says they're done. You've got enough balls
His
in
mind
the
never
air.
stops.
No.
We're never done.
I don't like stuff getting stale. So
I don't think, not to be judgmental, but I don't think there's a chance of that. But
No.
it's just
Yeah.
me.
yeah, so we actually we took over. I grew up in East Forest Park, the city of Springfield, and my father and mother both grew up in East Forest Park, and we have a huge love for the neighborhood and the community and the people in the community, and always had our eyes on the local package store in the neighborhood, and it's been handed down, and went through a lot of great business owners that were former bar owners in the city, and kind of feel honored to take over the establishment in December and completely turn it around, eliminated theft, and just brought more product and into it, and it's a lot different from on-premise bar with a restaurant, and a lot more rules, and you got to be real careful with the ordering. The profit margin isn't as high, and we took that over in December. It's Allen Street Package Store on the corner of Island Pond Road and Allen Street.
Oh, my gracious, yes.
And we changed that into Sullivan's Allen Package Store, and we do have a tenant upstairs too.
Oh,
And-
so now you're landlords. Why not?
Yeah. Well, there's actually there's some more too. As I'll get to it, but the package store we're open 8 a.m. to 11, and on holidays where we can be open and we're allowed to be open.
Yeah, that's just a mere 15 hours or something.
Yeah. But it's because of partners and the managers that we have set in place with our staff. They're the best of the best. And they work very hard for us and with us, and become close friends and family with a lot of our staff that we employ. Well, we took over the package store in December. It's been going really well. We listen to customers and to suggestions. So I constantly I'm asking our staff. I'm asking customers. What can we do to improve? What can we
Products you
stock,
can pull it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've completely transformed that space, which is very small, very, very small, and brought in a lot of new inventory to cater to, customers, whatever they want in the neighborhood.
Well, and I can attest that is very true, because East Village Tavern does now carry Chivas Regal, which makes my husband so happy.
Yeah.
And he will announce, yes, I asked for it and they bought it.
Yeah.
So, but it's listening, and you have a lot of people to listen to.
Yeah.
We have other regulars with the tequila. It's a specific tequila.
Yep. Or
But it
say
makes
like,
it makes you feel welcomed.
Absolutely.
especially the
Right.
non-alcoholic lineup that we have, both on-premise and off-premise with, in the bar and restaurant and in the package store. You wouldn't believe it, but a lot of people have, gone sober and
It's grown from O'Doul's. There's so many more
yeah, I mean,
non-alcoholic
the
beers.
athletic NAs, and I mean, from Corona makes a non-alcoholic
Everybody,
now.
Heineken, everybody
Yep,
has their
Heineken
own.
and-
Budweiser.
But we carry, to those certain customers that come in for lunch and dinner, 3-4 times a week. If you want it, we'll do our best to get it. And it's kind of challenging because storage, and just every single week there's a new product coming out that distributors from different reps from different distributors are required to, do their job and, sell to business owners. And, we want to say yes to everything, but it's not.
And you've also upgraded the menus,
Yeah.
I've noticed. So it's not really just the beverage.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a place for lunch and dinner.
Yeah, our
and
executive chef,
appetizers.
Jordan, is very,
Same thing too. That's like, customers who come in, certain things work, certain things don't.
Yep.
So they've been evolving, the menus every so often, get new things in and take things off that don't really work so well.
yeah.
Who would have thought you could get pot stickers at East Village Tavern?
Our partner, Maddie over there, and our executive chef, Jordan, and our daytime manager and bartender, Maureen, have been in the industry for years, and very experienced with fine dining to casual dining to even bar atmosphere. So, I mean, we've grown up and have been friends with these employees and coworkers for, some over 20 years.
Well, I think I've just identified the special sauce here and what makes this successful.
It's our staff.
It's the staff and the ability for you folks to bring people in and include them. And it sounds like your arms are getting longer and longer,
Yeah.
not only with the staff, but with your collaborations. I've heard the Springfield Police Department, I know the Rec Department, the Rotary. No one escapes the far reach.
It's funny too,
EVT.
because like our kids now too, like we're instilling that work ethic in them. They see how hard we work. They,
Yeah.
they've dishwashed.
We got them working.
Yeah, they'll deliver waters.
Excuse
so
me, they're
cute.
tiny.
Yes.
Well, they love going to the restaurant, and we lead by example. And they love going there and putting on an apron and grabbing a notepad and pretending to take customer
Yeah.
orders. So,
They can
like the
take
staff
our
loves
order
them
every
too,
day.
Well,
They're
if they see it's
delightful.
busy, they jump right in,
Yeah.
and they'll help with dishes and cleaning and wiping down tables. And
You've
that-
probably seen them
that
in
helps
there.
a lot.
They'll
Yes,
pop
I
in
have.
and yeah,
Well, they're a little bit like royalty. Like everyone knows who they are, and
Everybody
they're
knows their
very
order.
comfortable.
They're,
Right?
It's
They're
adorable.
good kids.
Yeah.
How wonderful! I'm so happy you folks came in today.
Thank you.
Do you have any parting words, advice for the community? And I don't want to put you on the spot, but what else can you share with
Or
us?
the contact information.
Yeah. I mean, we're just excited to be here in East Long Meadow. Like in the beginning, like we were kind of, scared and afraid, and kind of heard horror stories about, operating a business in East Long Meadow, abiding by the town bylaws and rules. But I mean, they're set in place for a reason, and we were excited to, be able to have the chance to show everybody what we're all about and our operation, and we can't wait, for the future and what it has to hold.
Well, thank you so much, and thanks for bringing us all along to be part of the future with you. We are enjoying the ride, and while we enjoy the regular routine of our lives, there's something exciting about what's new and what's different and what's going to happen next.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Pleasure.
Okay, you're welcome. Well, thanks to Jesse Sullivan and Sully for being here today from East Village Tavern. We do appreciate it. The Stories from the View podcast is available on the LCAT 01028 channel on YouTube, and we're also on Spotify. If you have a story you'd like to share on the program, contact Pleasant View Senior Center Director Aaron Kobler by stopping by the Pleasant View Senior Center or by calling Aaron at 413-525-5436, extension 1401, that's what it is. Or you can send Aaron an email, aaron.kobler@eastlongmeadowma.gov. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Stories from the View.